Hey folks, it's Scott Lips, and welcome back to another episode of Spin Magazine's Lip Service. How y'all doing? I feel like I might be the only human not on a European vacation at this point. I'm coming to you somewhat live from the streets of New York this week, and let's get into it. My next guest is an unbelievably super talented singer-songwriter taking the world by storm. She is Grace VanderWaal. Some reviews have said she's a creative force to be reckoned with, and I couldn't agree more. She's been featured in James Gordon to Kelly Clarkson, has millions of fans to the tune of 8 million on social media, and rose to fame by winning AGT, America's Got Talent, at the age of 12. She is the youngest person ever to be included in the Forbes 30 Under 30 list and received the 2017 Billboard Women in Music Rising Star Award. She has new music coming out, Lion's Den, which just came out July 15th. It's a monster single, and the record. Truth is, I went to see her perform last night. She was fantastic, outstanding. I'm excited to chop it up today with Grace VanderWaal. Hey, it's Scott Lips, and welcome back to another episode of Spin Magazine's Lip Service. I'm joined with the one and only Grace VanderWaal. We were having a great conversation.
I decided to take a drink.
Oh, it's all good. And we were in a great conversation about people sleeping till 8 p.m., which really doesn't happen too much. Bizarre.
And extremely concerning.
It is. But that's my other friend. But you were great last night. I saw you play. You were great. And it was an untraditional venue. Yeah. But it was great to see you in person and did a little video. And it was great I just knew that we were doing this today. Yeah, so I felt like I had to go see you perform.
I had no idea you were there.
I was in the front row, and people were like pushing me out of the way, but it was great.
It was chaos.
It was chaos. And you did a great version of Stay, which I loved, and Lion's Den, so we'll get into all that. But more importantly, it's great to see you, so thank you for coming in. Are you a morning person?
No. Even this, wait, what time is it again right now?
I think it's like 11:15. It's almost midday, by the way.
Yeah, you're right. I should really get my act together on that. That's a very valid point.
You probably stay up late, writing music and.
Yeah, I'm very much a night owl. I can never go to sleep. Last night was a good night, and I went to sleep at 2:30.
Okay, so you did the gig, and then after the gig, did you go out somewhere, or were you?
I was so tired, dude.
That was it. Okay.
That was such a long day. I meant my spirit wanted to, because I was but just. Physically, I was I'm gonna lay in bed for 10 hours.
Yeah, well, it was a great show. I mean, I want to talk about your whole history, your journey in life, the new record and everything. And talk to me a little bit about how you grew up, because you grew up you moved around from Kansas City to New York, and now I think now you're in, where are you now? Georgia? Georgia, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born in Kansas, and when I was I've only ever known New York. I don't have any memories of Kansas, and I moved to New York, and that was something. And
but not the city, right? You lived in Suffern?
No. Yeah, we lived in Suffern.
Yeah. Where is Suffern? I'm from New York. I have no idea where that is.
It's do you know Ramapo?
No.
Do you know Rockland County?
A little bit. I'm from Long Island. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason I never go there. I don't know where that is.
Long Island, but there are some neighboring, Nyack.
For the purpose of the podcast, yes.
We'll say, I know where that is. Yeah.
I haven't spent a lot of time there. But.
It's a really, not a lot of people know. It's a smaller place, more insignificant than
the suburb, an hour north or something.
Yeah, 30 to 40 minutes north. Definitely it's suburb vibes. You can go a little bit into something and feel a little bit more a tiny city, but yeah.
And so did you grow up around music? What was your first? I know you started writing songs at 3, which is insane. Or playing music at 3.
I feel like people try to paint it out I was this crazy
child prodigy.
Yeah,
right.
prodigy, writing sheet music and shit when I was, but I literally would just be here's a table. This is a table. Wasn't. But yeah, I guess you could say I was making music at 4 or whatever. So I don't know.
Were your parents into music? Do you have music growing up all around you?
Well, my dad is really into music and the Beatles and older things like that. But I feel nothing out of the ordinary than any other dad from the 70s.
But not necessarily a musical family.
I don't know. Yeah, we were a musical family. kind of.
Because you like everything from like Ella Fitzgerald to, I would assume, like 21 Pilots, Katy Perry, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's just because, I don't know, I can appreciate I like pop music and rap music and jazz. I love jazz. I've always loved jazz. Yeah.
Yeah. So at an early age, what were your parents exposing you to musically that you sort of? Because there's also like Joni Mitchell and a bunch of.
I was definitely around the Beatles, Sting.
Sting, not the Police. Sting. So Sting solo.
Yeah, Sting solo.
Okay.
Those were the two main things that were always playing. Jack Johnson and wait, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Jack
Johnson.
My dad is very obsessed with that man, and then my mom would always play the album "Teenage Dream" by Katy Perry. It's like a weird, childhood milestone for me, like specifically that album, because it's when like Katy Perry was just first really breaking.
Sure.
And she had it on CD, and we would actually listen to that CD like top to bottom every day for like a whole summer. And yeah.
It's amazing because I started this company many years ago. We were talking about it outside this fashion company. Katy Perry, I guess, at some point was with my company.
No,
like,
really?
She was like just starting in music, and I still have the Polaroids of her like on the roof being represented, but it was only for like a year, and she hadn't really made music at that point.
Yeah.
So of course I didn't know who she was, and
so that was
it was like early on, and so I would just sometimes I look at those things because it's interesting, people that you meet in your path and your journey in life that come into your life, and you don't know at the time they're going to be what they are. But
yeah, that's insane.
But you have this incredible history where like at 12 years old, and I watched the video the other day. I'd never seen your America's Got Talent video when you won that with the ukulele. Had to be surreal, and I have to know. I think the ukulele was something you picked up after watching like 21 Pilots or something, or YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean, I loved 21 Pilots at the time. I was a huge fan, so I definitely idolized the fact that Tyler Joseph played the ukulele. But I really wanted one because we just had this woman stay at our house for a while.
Who played the ukulele?
Yeah, and she played the ukulele, and I thought that she was pretty and cool, and I was like 14 or way younger actually. I was like 11, and she probably was like in her early 20s, so it was a very
She's a friend of the family that brought over a ukulele.
No, she was just a stranger.
Oh, a stranger that stayed at your house with a ukulele.
Yes.
This story is getting better by the minute. So
it's like a whole thing. But yeah, I didn't know who she was, and I just thought she was super cool. Definitely looked up to her a lot, and
no, she wasn't squatting, and she was like a friend.
No.
She was like a friend of the families or something, right?
Well, no, she like it's a whole thing. It was like for a company that my mom was for like au pairs that don't have a place to go if they like don't match with their family. So they would like stay in we had like a renovated basement because like our house was built for like a divorce or something, like something the family was going through. Or it was like for the dad, I don't know, but for some reason they made the basement like a little vibe, like it had a little kitchenette and stuff like that.
I like the story like someone built a house specifically for a divorce. Like, we're going to build this house together because
in case.
we know we're going to get divorced. That would be like a new concept in American living.
Honestly, that's like really progressive and like emotional awareness.
It's
like,
probably,
you know what? We both know. This is very likely.
It's probably realistic is what it is, I guess. And was it hard for you? Obviously, I watched that video. Simon Cowell calls you like the next Taylor Swift. I mean, has it been hard growing up in the public eye? Because by the time you're from 12, you were, and I watch old videos of you being interviewed. It's so funny to see because you're like an old soul, but you're 12 and you're speaking and you're writing these songs of like almost like relationships. I'm like, I don't think you were having any, you're obviously by yourself at 12. So where did you get that inspiration to write these songs at that young of an age?
Yeah, I think that even to this day, a lot of people tend to like push the narrative of romantic relationships on my songs, but like honestly, for the most part, a lot of my songs are about my family.
Yeah.
Like just that's the truth. And like then maybe you can run off with that and sprinkle a little this and that. It turns into a different story. But like especially at that age, you know, a lot of those like songs were about my sister or like fighting with my mom. Or, you know, stuff like that.
And you're right. People take those and like, what's the real meaning behind? And it's really just you talking to your parents or whatever it may be.
Fully. Yeah.
And your sister's sort of like your rock in the family, I guess, right? And your brothers. Tell me about your relationship and were they into music? And I think they've been incredibly supportive of your career too.
They have. And it's been really hard on them. It's been hard on everybody, you know, because like, you know, that's a really hard thing to go through, especially because like they were in, you know, transitional moments. I don't know if that's the right word in their life as well. You know, my sister was like, God, she had to be like 15 or something when that was happening. So, you know, that's hard when you want to be your person too, but like it's the battle of like, well, I can't be selfish and I want to be supportive. But anyway, yeah, my sister was definitely my like
your rock, right?
She was like my mom growing. I mean, she fully, I feel like, just really was there for me in every single way. And yeah.
So what was that like at 12 years old? Like I said, I mean, you win America's Got Talent. And again, I'm sure it was surreal. Was it hard to process for you at that young an age? I mean, do you really know what's going on? Not really, right?
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Like people ask me like in interviews and stuff, like, what was that moment like?
Right.
What was going on in your head?
You don't remember probably, right?
And I'm like, when something that overwhelming happens at that young of an age, you literally are just like, like that's it. It's almost like in a way traumatic because it's like just the overness of everything.
Yeah.
It just sort of will numb out the, I guess, shock of it at a certain point. And I remember being shocked. I remember I felt like I just did drugs. I was like, I've never done drugs before, but this is what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just very overwhelming and yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, if you look at what's happening, I don't know if you've ever seen like Nandi Bushell. She's like 10. She's that drummer that played with the Foo Fighters. She's playing stadiums now at 10. And people now at a young age, because you have YouTube and you can kind of learn anything, like whether it's drumming or singing. And I guess you kind of used YouTube in a way to put up covers and get into music, which is weird to have an education. Like when I was growing up, we didn't have YouTube. We got in a room with the guys in the bands and we were like, all right, you suck. You're not that great. We still need to practice for 3 years.
That's a good way to do it, though.
Yeah, and then in 3 years we can probably play. We're not good enough now. Obviously, no one will come see us play. We're terrible. And we just worked on our craft. But you kind of started by just putting songs up on YouTube and covers.
Yeah.
And so tell me about that process and how that all started for you. Because it is interesting. Again, I see people now in Shark Tank. They're like, I have a company. I'm 9. And I'm like, what? Like, what? You ever see that? I love Shark Tank.
I love Shark Tank. Yeah. But yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I learned ukulele on YouTube fully, which was cool that I live in an age where I can do that. And like with the YouTube stuff, I really started doing that once I auditioned because I mean it was so like I think that is the worst and best part of everything is like I can't express how much none of us would have ever fucking thought like in a million years that anything close to that would have ever happened. Like, we literally did that for, like, shits and giggles. Just to, like, whatever. Let's wait in the line that we always see on, like, TV. You know, I don't think my mom would have ever even put me in if she actually thought that something like that would happen. But
what was like the first song that you uploaded to YouTube?
It was Frosty the Snowman. Okay. I still remember. Yeah, because I did that audition, which was bizarre, and it's not the way it is on TV at all. Yeah,
what's it like, actually? Because I mean,
oh my God.
We want to know the behind the scenes of what America's Got Talent.
So there was no line, which is the only reason why we went there, because like we found out there were only those lines in filming cities.
Now, is this in LA or are you in Georgia?
This was in New York.
New York, okay.
New York. And yeah, they just like grouped us together, like singers, dancers, magicians, and then like you just went into this classroom with like all of like the chairs pushed up, and everyone's in there with you. Like you don't go by yourself. You get like 20 seconds, and there's just this woman with a laptop. She's like not looking up at you. And I remember
she's like, "Are you a magician or a singer?"
I was like, "Okay, what the hell's happening?" Because I did my turn, and I think I sang like X's and O's or something. Went back, and then we all went out of the room into this tiny hallway. It was so like dark and hot. And then they asked me back in, and it was like they had some weird excuse, like we are missing something on your information or something. And so I went in, and she asked me to sing another. She was like, "Do you have another song that you want to sing?"
Still not looking up at you typing.
Well, no, now she was looking up.
Okay.
Now she was looking up. And this is the point where I was like, okay, this is maybe no, that's not happening, Grace. And so I went, and she literally had me sing until I was like, I don't know any more like covers or anything to sing. And that's actually, I don't know if I've even ever said, that's the first time that I sang I Don't Know My Name. Because I was like, I ran out of things, and then I was like, I mean, like, I have this little thing that I, like, tried to write the other day. Like, do you want me to sing that? And she was like, sure. I sang that. Then they took me to a whole other building that was, like, the show with, like, X's, like, a real camera. It was wild.
Because it was, like, on an iPhone before or something? Or?
They weren't even filming it before.
Oh, they weren't? Okay.
They weren't even wasting the camera memory.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was just genuinely, she's like, blah, blah, blah. But my whole point of all of this is, like, I remember I walked out. I told my mom everything that happened. Well, because she came with me to the other building. We were both like, what the fuck? What is happening? You know? Because now we're like, is this going to be a thing?
Yeah.
Like, what? And so I remember we went home that day, and we were like, all right, this is going to sound crazy, but I literally think that I got on the show. Like, that is so insane. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should post some YouTube. Maybe I'm not that bad.
Let me break out the ukulele.
Yeah, and so that's when I started making little YouTube videos.
And how'd you know that it was resonating with people? Because it's interesting. I mean, I do believe your voice is incredible. I mean, let's just put it out there, right? You have an amazing voice. You're so talented. So, you know, I do believe that if you're that talented, you have all these tools at your fingertips now, and people can discover you, and they will discover you. Like, I had a guy on the show the other day, Teddy Swims. I don't know if you know him. He's an amazing singer, and he too put like covers on YouTube, and then he got like 400 million.
Jesus Christ.
All of a sudden he's, you know, I don't know. Now he's like a big artist, becoming a big artist.
Wow,
So,
that's
but that's how, like, playing covers and doing covers on YouTube. Like, it used to be something we couldn't do because we didn't have that vehicle. But now, like, look what happened. So, but when did you know that that was like taking and people were like responding to what you were doing there?
Well, so no one actually really cared until my thing aired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before that, there was like 16 views or something.
Yeah, probably. I think 24 realm.
It's tough. I've done those videos where like 6 people see them. You're like,
Yeah.
shit.
And you know, just like half of them is you.
Yeah.
Just like refreshing.
Yeah, keep playing it.
Rewatching it. Yeah. It wasn't until my audition aired where like those started doing really well and people were finding me, and I was like, it was just bizarre. It was just crazy.
And at that point, do your parents sit you down like, listen, we this is going to be a thing. Should we start putting like covers on YouTube and really run with this?
No, not at all. Like, it was just so, I mean, they didn't even, I don't even remember any. They didn't even do anything.
It was just you.
Well, like, the only time we might have talked was, I mean, because they were just as overwhelmed as, I mean, in a way, we were both just fully going through it together at the same time. It's not like they're like, listen, we've been around the business, and this is what you're going to do if you want to make it. You know, we're both, I mean, just all of us were just like, we don't know what's happening, but we're just going with it. And the only time that we, I guess, sort of talked was at the end of the show. I won, and I talked to Simon, and like, it was, we were discussing like a full record deal, and it was like,
he's like, sign your life away right here and don't read this.
Right here or
Do
right
not
now.
read this at all. But here's a 50-page contract.
Yeah, but it was like in that moment where I think that we all, me and my parents, were starting to get the awareness of like,
This is going to be something.
This is serious. Something is happening right now that we should definitely think through. And the only thing really my mom ever said to me was, she was just like, no matter what, I am never going to be your manager or work for you. And I said, no matter what, I never want you to be my manager or work for me. And we both agreed that that was the best decision we could ever make. To this day, it's the best decision we've ever made.
Yeah,
and that's really all that went into it.
Hard to work with family for sure. But so you win this, and again, looking back on it now, do you ever have you ever looked at that clip the last few years and just watched yourself on it?
Maybe.
Maybe.
The past few years.
You're one of the 114 million people that's looking at it. How do you feel when you look at it?
They're actually all me.
It's
I just
you.
watch it every
114 million times. How do you feel about it when you look back on it? I mean, you are so young, but again, the lyrics are great. You're singing great. You can tell you're a star. I mean, I know it's hard, but no, but that because talent is talent. And of course your voice changes, your writing progresses, you have life experience, you have nothing to write about when you're 12 except your family, fighting with your sister and whatever. Yeah, I mean, everything progresses, but you can recognize great talent when you see it. So you must look at that with fond memories, I would imagine.
I think the last time I watched it was 2 years ago, and I specifically remember I was just on my computer. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this shit right now. I don't know why, but I'm gonna do it. And it had been so long since I've seen it, and it was genuinely such a surreal moment rewatching it, and just I'm not gonna lie, this is every interviewer's dream because they always try to prompt me to say this. Do you remember how you felt in that moment? Do you remember how you felt in that moment? No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. I blacked out.
Yeah.
I was 12.
Yeah.
But
by the way, I can't remember yesterday, so I understand.
I know. Do you remember how you felt on your 12-year-old talent show?
No. I barely remember picking up the drumsticks at 8, so barely.
But I'm not gonna lie. I watched it and I definitely felt a little bit of a wave through me of that specific feeling, and that specific feeling I felt in that moment was literally a feeling that I've never felt again in my entire life. Probably never. I don't even know how to describe it. It's yeah.
Well, so it's a lot of pressure when Simon Cowell says, you're the next Taylor Swift, and you're 12. You're like, what? Who? What? What do I do now, right? So,
yeah.
Well, after that, obviously, it's a life-changing moment. And again, it must be surreal when you think about it, but I'm sure you don't remember much. So walk me through how you got the record deal, obviously all the way up to where we are today, because you've gone on, you've had this great career, and now you've done stuff with Imagine Dragons and played huge venues, and so again, your whole path in life is so fascinating starting there, because it's not a normal way that artists start.
It's wild. It's so crazy to even think about, seriously. So the show ended. And, directly after coming off stage from, the whole winning thing, my dad and I went into Simon Cowell's, dressing room, which it sounds weird, and maybe it was a little bit, but, it was really cool. It wasn't, anyway.
Probably a big dressing room, I would imagine.
No, it was pretty small.
It was, okay.
It was pretty, it was a humble little, there was, vase water everywhere, though, so it was a little chic. But, he's just sitting there, and I genuinely don't remember anything from that conversation. I fully don't know. He said some stuff and looked really cool. And then you know what? I was so young that just so much was organized for me, because then you need lawyers, and you need this, and you need a team, and you need these people to help you figure it out. So however the hell that happened, it happened.
But you were also homeschooled too, right? At that point, or were you going to public school or private school?
Think that I dropped out of public school near the end of filming America's Got Talent, because I just couldn't, and also I hated that school anyway, so I was like, bye, bitches. But
so you're homeschooled, you get the lawyers, do you get a manager at that point?
Yes, I think so. God, you're really straining my memory.
Well, some time goes on.
Time goes on, and then I remember the first thing the label was which I didn't understand, which I don't know why. It makes perfect. Now I fully understand because people wanted, to stream the songs of the show. And they probably wanted to utilize that momentum as quickly as possible because, the world's attention span is so short. So they were like, we need you to record those songs like right now, as soon as possible.
How about a full-length record in 10 minutes? You're like, what?
And so they threw me into a studio and had me record what is now Perfectly Imperfect, I think, was the cheesy-ass title. I was 13, so I was like, this is deep as hell. Perfectly Imperfect.
Now, when you're writing songs like that, is it just you and your ukulele? Are you...
Yeah, at the time, it was just fully me and the ukulele. But
I'm trying to think of other artists that have like made it big with the ukulele. I mean, it's not a very common instrument, is it? Not really.
I don't know.
I can't even really think of one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good one, though, because it's just so damn easy.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it, because I just don't like to work hard for things at all. And so I loved that I could like get the reward of playing a song like instantly. But anyway, time went on and I, developed such a great relationship with my label and just like really fell in love with
the process, right?
The life that I just had. I mean, it's really crazy the way that like it's just, there's nothing else that I would, you know what I'm saying? Like I love it. Like it is for me.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just like bizarre because I'm like, it happened so by chance. And it's just like, I don't know.
It's almost
really
like divine intervention, I guess. It was something that was supposed to be. And
because I fell in love with everything about my job, not just like writing music or doing things that I love, doing things like this and traveling and going to studios and co-writing and learning different ways and processes of making music and just all of it.
And I think you really value writing with people and the producers and the relationships that you have making music now. So because now, and I guess kind of fast forward a little bit, Lion's Den just came out July 15th.
Yeah.
You have another record coming out, your full length, right? Your second full length coming out. So the process of writing music now, I mean, I guess you probably still like make music, I'm sure, in your bedroom and whatever, but like you're also working with writers, producers, and I know that those relationships, as I mentioned, are really important to you.
Yes.
So talk to me about like how the process of music, is for you now.
Yeah, I love co-writing and just being extreme. I also love production. Like I want to be a full producer one day when I'm ready to dip out. And so I love just being super collaborative on production and people that love to collaborate with me and hear my dumbass explanations of sounds. I'm like, can we have like bubbles, but they're like light and crunchy and dry?
It's almost like a food description or something.
But I'm telling you, like there are some people that fully like it's exactly what the fuck you heard in your minds. And it's like magical and amazing, and like being able to write with people too makes you realize that like we all kind of have safety nets of like certain rhyme schemes and like cadences that we just kind of fall onto. And like it can make all of your songs sound the same. So like to have a refresher of like to riff on something and then someone's like, okay, what if we did that and took out this word and like elongated, you're like, whoa, why didn't I think of that? It's like cool to have someone kind of take you out of your like comfortable
your zone, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to like writing camps, or do you have one? You have Phineas and you have Billy. Do you have your magical person that you believe is like
a few magical people that I just really like.
So who are those people that are your?
There's a producer and writer named Ito that he's actually based here in New York, I think. But it's crazy because most especially musical relationships I made when I was really young, no offense, #no hate, but didn't last because I was learning what I like and what I'm into. But he was like the first person I've ever worked with, so he's like literally family to me at this point. I've known him since I was like 12. And I made Moonlight with him, which was like my first sort of independent, outside of the America's Got Talent realm, label sort of letting me do my thing song, which it's a very special milestone to me. But yeah, so him, and then also Mike Elizondo I just started working with for the EP that I'm dropping soon, that I can tell that's going to be a relationship for years and years. I love that guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, was your process like sending files back and forth? Did you get together with these guys and make music? Or
Yeah, during the pandemic just didn't work. We tried the things like that, and it's just not. You gotta be there.
Yeah,
like
no,
it
I
just
agree.
doesn't work. Like maybe at the tail end of songs, we can bounce back and forth of
Yeah.
like just mastering. Like, oh, maybe this can be added or this beat at 2:13 can be dropped out. But like for the birth of the vibe, you just
You
have
gotta
to.
be there. You gotta be
just
there.
have to.
So
Yeah.
talk to me about Lions Den. I saw, as I
Yeah.
said, I saw you play last night, Stay, which I loved, that great version of that, and Lions Den, which you got to perform. So was
Yeah.
that the first time you've actually performed that song? Because it just came out.
Yeah,
so.
it was the first time. So, it wasn't terrible, but
No, I mean, again, an untraditional venue, but you've also
Yeah.
played stadiums, like I said, with Imagine Dragons and theater tours and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and when you look back on some of your touring, and obviously you're going to do some more touring coming up now, like, what are your fondest memories? I mean, like,
oh my God, I love touring. I have some really, really good memories from touring. Imagine Dragons definitely holds some of my best touring memories. Like, dude, that was just like, even just on a non-professional note, like one of the best summers of like my
Amazing.
life. It was just so fucking fun, and like
good bunch of people, I guess.
oh, just such good people.
Yeah.
And it was me and my personal band, so we're all like really good friends, and yeah, we had some really good times. I remember at the very end we all put on like these big like blow up suits
Yeah.
and like ran out on Imagine Dragons at the end of their show to like, I don't know, whatever, prank them or whatever.
You always have to do the prank.
I don't know, but it was stupid as hell, but it was fun as hell.
Yeah.
And just like messing around on that whole tour, I just like remember seriously like having the time of my life on
That's
that
awesome.
tour.
I'm sure there's plans to tour this new record coming out too, right?
Yeah, I really want to be an opener guy. I love being an opener.
Yeah.
I love being an opener. I would be happy being an opener for the rest of my life.
Now, I
Like,
heard that
it's
you're
the
a
best.
fan of, like, because it's funny, you talk about, like, never meet your idols, and sometimes you meet them, and sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're terrible people, but
Yeah.
I think you're a fan of Ariana Grande.
Oh my
You got
God,
to
yeah,
meet her once,
yeah.
right? How was that? What was that like?
No, I've never met her.
Oh, you never met
I've,
her?
I've
Okay.
seen her from afar.
Okay, she's
like,
been in the room somewhere.
Like twice, I
Okay.
think. We've been in the same
Yeah,
areas.
I'm sure she knows
before.
who you are.
Oh God, no, she doesn't.
So, but if you could tour with anyone, who would it be? Who is your dream tour, right?
Oh, well, there are definitely people where I'm like, I love them and I would love to tour with them, but like, I love to like be surprised, and maybe like I would have never thought that I would have toured with Imagine Dragons. I don't think that I would have ever. I mean, I really fell in love with their music on that tour.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever would have reached out and been like, I want to tour with Imagine Dragons. Reach out to their team,
Right.
And it was like it was the best thing ever. So like I feel like I'm not exactly like that, but it would be cool to like.
But Grace's dream tour, would it be like Fleetwood Mac, a Stevie Nicks solo tour, a Joni Mitchell solo tour? I mean, Ariana Grande. Like, who would be like your dream tour that you could go on?
I really like Lorde a
Cool.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
That makes a lot of
Big
sense too.
accomplishment.
Yeah, I could see the.
She musically inspires me a lot.
Yeah.
You can probably hear a lot of
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she like really deeply inspires
Have
me.
you seen her perform?
No, I've never
Okay.
seen her live or anything.
Well, my
like
buddy
that.
manages her, and I'm having lunch with him, so I'll put it out there in the ethernet. I swear I'm not lying. So, but
Oh my God, please
I will
do.
put that out
That
there in
would
the
be
world.
so sick.
Sometimes if you manifest things, they happen. So don't think I won't mention it, because I will mention it. But Hollywood Stargirl just came out again.
yeah.
Another thing to talk about. You're acting, you're singing.
Yeah.
What do you prefer at this point? I mean, you've done great in both.
I definitely like singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love acting and it's fun, but it does not feel like
You.
touring, or it's not like that passion, fulfillment, core. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so great. This is me. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, because the story, talk about the story about Stargirl and obviously Hollywood Stargirl and what's it about. It's a little bit like, art imitating life with you, right? In a sense.
Yeah. It's this girl and she's, weird and whatever, unconventional in many ways. And she was homeschooled. She wants to go to public school, struggles going to public school. People bully the fuck out of her. She gets hurt. Is like, okay, let me blend in. And then has a beautiful revelation that she should be herself. And then in the mix of that, there was a romance where he was inspired by her, but like also embarrassed because of his insecurity, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They part ways. Whoop. Bye. Never see each other again. Oh, so sad. Lost love.
But it's Disney, so we have to bring it back.
Well, so then there's a sequel. But that love interest never. Stargirl just moved the hell on.
They don't even address it in the sequel. It's like
honestly, like queen shit. Like I love that for her. She just fully was like, next chapter, and she goes to LA. And what happens? Okay, she goes to LA and meets this boy, obviously going to be the love interest, and he is trying to be like a director or a writer, and he's going to make a movie. He's like, we've been looking for like the perfect girl, and that might be you. And I'm like, oh my God, like, no, like, I'm so shy. Like, I've never done that before. And he's like, you'll be great. And I was like, okay. So he did it, fell in love while making the movie. And then somehow, like, fully got a production company.
Again, it's actually, Disney,
like,
so
reciting the plot really actually does sound like a fever dream. Like, it's kind of wild when you like really think about it.
Well, also she's a singer in the new, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then in the mix of everything, like I break out and and then we write a song together. Right. He discovers and I discover that we both are just like amazing songwriters. Right. Uma Thurman also is weirdly like helping us write the song. Yeah. She's like, whatever, you guys are the worst. I hate you. You're kids at a bar. And then she was like, actually, I like you. I was faking it because I wanted to fuel you with my hatred. And we were like, okay, bet.
How was she? Was she great to work with?
She was incredible. Yeah. So cool. Like, I mean, I was just thinking about that the other night, just how unbelievably surreal it is. I just was on a fucking camera with Uma Thurman. Like, what the hell? It's just ridiculous. Like, I just...
Because initially when you did the first Stargirl, you weren't even sure you wanted to act, right? And you kind of like fell into it?
Yeah, no, fully. I just felt like, who knows how long I'll have this fame or these opportunities. I've never done a movie before. Like, might as well try. I mean, might as well be able to be on my deathbed and be like, I was in a movie. So.
But music is your soul. But you are excited about Hollywood Stargirl.
I am. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I had so much fun, and it's a lot of fun to act. Yeah, for sure. Is it like my biggest passion? No.
Well, it's great. It's definitely check it out. It's out. And I've heard you say when you reach your pinnacle, you'll have a treadmill, 3 puppies, and a computer. But I do feel like these are things you could have now, by the way. And
but it wouldn't hit the same. Okay. It wouldn't hit the same. Because like when I say treadmill, I mean like, okay, I'm like late 20s, eating a kale salad in this gorgeous apartment, all windows, skyscraper,
puppies
New York
everywhere.
City, puppies everywhere, right. Like almost a health hazard. Walking on this treadmill, being like, I fucking made it.
That's funny. Well, you could have that now, by the way. But it's funny because you've done MSG, I think the Forbes 30 under 30 list, but you just want the treadmill and, a couple puppies and a computer, which I feel like you probably have.
Like
you have a
cute
computer.
pajamas.
You do have a computer already.
Yeah, but it would be like a different computer with like a bunch of emails on it. Like my computer just has like YouTube on it. It would be like business.
What are you excited about, Grace, for this year? Obviously, Lion's Den.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about when the full length comes out, and hopefully the upcoming tour and everything else you have in store for this year. And obviously, check out the movie that's out. Lion's Den just came out.
Lion's Den just came out.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I think we're gonna drop another single before the EP, and all of that we have no clue. We're just kind of guessing. But yeah, I'm just most excited to do a tour. I just want to do a tour. And,
do we know when that might be? Is it still under wraps?
Hopefully, definitely within the next year or so of this EP and everything. And I'm just excited to get back into it, man. It's been a while with the pandemic and everything. It just really slowed everything. And so it just feels good to be out here and doing things and having movies and songs.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We talked about fashion a little bit. I mean, I know you were at like a Chanel show a couple years back, and we talked about a couple of shoots you're doing. So obviously that's a big part of your life. You love fashion too.
Yes,
I love all the new. Are those nude tattoos or those?
So a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, fashion and modeling is like another weirdly discovered, definitely like full passion. I could work the longest day, and I'm so tired, but I'm just like,
let me do a shoot.
That was fun. Like, I could do that again tomorrow. Yeah, I just really, really love fashion. Love that I get to have those opportunities,
Yeah, we talked a little bit about what I do, so I'm excited to see some of these things that you have coming out. We can't talk about them
yet.
I'm
excited to see what you have going on. Well, you have coming out.
There's a lot, but there's more going on with you. So it's such a great hang with you.
Circle back.
Definitely check out the new record when it comes out. Lion's Den just came out July 15th. The tour. Check out Hollywood Star Girl. The story, when you tell it, it's crazy, but it is.
It's good. It's cute.
It is a little bit like your life.
Yeah, definitely.
Because obviously that now she's singing, and I don't know. I guess they wrote that for you, and I'm sure there's going to be more movies and TV shows in your future. Will you do more? Do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
But that's a secret.
It's all secret. Well, it's such a great hang. Pleasure to meet you finally. I'm so happy we were able to make this happen. And check Grace VanderWaal out. Lion's Den out now. Thanks for tuning in. That was awesome. Grace VanderWaal, a star. She's amazing. Check out her new music. If you like the show, please tell a few friends about the show. It is important. Give it 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify and anywhere you get the show. The show is coming to every other Monday. I am on Cameo, so check me out there if you'd like. I appreciate you tuning in. Have a great summer, and see you soon.